I had 3 gallons of diced jalapenos from last summer's garden I never processed. So I'm making a super big batch of cowboy or cowgirl candy. I'm getting ready to make some General Tso's chicken. And I'm using some of the frozen peppers, some of the last of what I have from last year's garden. Broccoli from this year from one of our plants. Sugar snap peas that I've frozen from our garden this year, and some green onions from the garden this year. And I'm ready for the peppers to come in because I've only got enough for 2 or 3 more meals of my bell peppers. But that's what we're doing. We got some chicken I'm going to dice up, and then for General Tso's, we don't do the breading, so I just use some General Tso's sauce. But that's what's cooking today from the garden. Well, it's time to reload the buckets for food for the chickens, and they are ready for it. Fake eggs. Each of these bins that I use will hold 2 50-pound bags of feed, and so I just store them in there and keep the lids on them, and knock on wood, I've never had any rodent problems in my feed. This is the part that'll have me hurting for a few days, but I'll get it done. And I just realized they did not include my bag of sunflower seeds. I picked this up a couple days ago, and it was raining that day, so I didn't unload it from my car. Came to do it today, and my sunflower seeds aren't there. I'll give them a call tomorrow. And this is my bribery bucket. It's the mealworms I buy, or the mealworms. Now I fill up this bucket. Now that bag is not cheap, so we use it sparingly. But one bag like that will last me 6 months or so as far as chickens. But it really helps me on days when I need to get them back inside in a hurry, or you have that one stubborn chicken that don't want to come home. It's just for general treats, but it works. And then I'll save these bags, and I use them for various things throughout the year, picking up stuff out of the yard, garbage, limbs, brush, whatever like that. Use them for those types of things to make it easy to keep up with, and put them in the garbage can when garbage day comes. So don't get rid of your bags, they're useful. And then I've been working on setting up irrigation out in the garden, and I've got this timer here, and this works fine. The problem I had out here is I got everything hooked up on irrigation, but when I turned it on, it only gets to about these middle beds right here, and not so much in these beds. I mean, it's just lightly in here. So it's not getting to these beds on the end down here at all. So I think what I'm gonna have to do, instead of running it in to that first bed down there, I'm going to bring it here in the middle and hook it in here, and let it run from both sides from here, and see if that doesn't work. If that doesn't work, I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe get another timer and put it on a different hose. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. And then another addition out here. This is that middle tomato bed with these. Gosh, I think that these are the mochi cherry tomatoes, and I didn't have anything in front of this bed. And when I was picking up feed the other day, I picked up 2 gypsy sweet peppers. I've never had those before and wanted to try them. And I like trying new things with starts from nurseries. That way I'm not spending the time trying to grow them. I'll find out if I like them. And if I like them, then I'll look for the seeds and start seeds next year for myself. I also wanted to share this down here. I've got a couple of blooms. Let me see if I can't find them again. Here's one. This is a fasciated bloom on a Cherokee purple, and it looks like 2 or 3 in there, and that'll make a really big tomato. And then there's another one, I think, right here. It's fasciated or cat facing. It'll put out one of those cat face tomatoes, but we'll see how big those get. I'm not a fan of all the nooks and crannies they create when they do that fasciation, but I do want a big tomato. I also picked up a couple of extra sweet basil I have Genovese basil and I have Thai basil, but I put one of the sweet basils here and one of the sweet basils down over there because I didn't have basil in either of these beds. And I actually prefer the sweet basil over the Genovese. And then another possible issue with this irrigation is these emitters. These just kind of dribbled out over here, and even with adjusting. And then this one on the end over here just shot out everywhere, while these two just dribbled. And these are the only two big beds I have the emitters in. I've got them in the little, like these little beds, like this. But I put the irrigation hose, the drip hose, in these other big beds, and that worked fine. So I may just change these two beds out to that drip hose too, and maybe even these little smaller pots, put some of the drip irrigation in there to the hose to see if that was not part of the issue. I'll troubleshoot that this weekend maybe. Chickens coming out here for some bugs and grass. All my bok choy bolted, so I pulled it out and fed it to the chickens. But lettuce is looking good. Cut off some of the greens. We've enjoyed some of those. Sunflowers popping up in there. Time to cut some lettuce. Those marigolds are just going bonkers. Lavender over here is putting on some flowers. That garlic chives over there just growing slowly. Everything's looking pretty good out here. That parsley. But we'll do another big garden update here in a week or two. I'll just show some little tidbits here and there through the rest of the time. I keep checking to see if it's dropping any ground. I don't see any, but it's loaded under there. I don't know how long it takes them to ripe once they make the fruit. Does anybody know? And then there's this zucchini, and here's some spaghetti squash down here. I planted all these seeds right here in this bed the same time I planted these in this bed. It's got the same mix, same batches in both beds. And I don't know if it's the seeds over here or something in this bed. I mean, that's spaghetti squash down there on the end, and these are spaghetti squash. These are the Rise and Shine yellow squash, and then these three are zucchini. And they're just not taking off in this bed. So I'm not sure what to do. I may come back and reseed and see if they don't do better. I don't know. We'll see. All right, today's the day I'm gonna harvest some of these cabbages. And I'm gonna start with just a couple of the biggest ones and get them in and process them. I'm gonna make some sauerkraut. And then a couple of these are a little smaller. I might give them a day or two, but they're all ready to come out, so we'll see what we can make with them. Two of them just about filled my basket over here. So I picked those two, the one on this side and the one on this side. I saw somewhere where if you leave them, it might grow additional heads of cabbage. So what I'm going to do is just leave those there for now. And if it looks like they start making heads, we'll let them and see what they do. And if not, or I need this box before then, I'll dig them out. But we'll just try and experiment and see. I still haven't got these broccoli out of here, and they're putting out side shoots, so I'm going to take those side shoots again. Just something about the smell of basil when you spin it. It just makes you want to keep spinning it and spinning it. It smells so good. And then after you spin it, it's just about dry. So I'm going to take the basil and dump it on a cookie sheet that's lined with parchment paper and spread it out and put it in my oven. And my oven is set on the lowest temperature, which is about 170 degrees. And I'll just leave it in there and check it about every 30 minutes. It'll probably take about an hour and a half to draw all this basil out.